Namaste. Jai Shiva. A lot of time, God is referenced as Agni. Now, Agni means fire. So, in other words, we can say God is referenced as fire, or we call the God as fire. But it's not the physical fire that we are talking about here. It is the force, the propulsion force, which moves you forward in life, right? So, understand it in this way, that say for example parents, if you take parents, then parents are sort of propulsion force, as they are giving the child all the resources to study, the shelter, food, clothing, and everything that they need, and the college fees, the school fees, and this teacher, that teacher, for this activity, for that activity. So parents are working as a propulsion force in a child's life. But are they there, this propulsion force, or even the will to be that propulsion force? Is it there the whole life of the child? No, it's not. Once the kids grow up and they start living their own life, parents do not have that force within. Most parents, some parents may still be that way for the entire life of the child, but a lot of parents just leave the control and stop driving or directing their children's life. A lot of people do that, right? So then who becomes where does that propulsion force comes from then? Every human being also has that fire, because after all, we were created in the image of God itself, right? God himself or herself. Then we also have that fire within, which is the propulsion force, which takes us forward in life. But does life always go forward? A lot of people have a lot of setbacks in life. And it could be financial setback, it could be physical setback, it could be, emotional setback. Any kind of setback can be there in life. And almost all the people, nobody can say that I never had any setback unless they are very young and still with their parents. Anybody who is grown up would never say that no, they never had any setback. It could be a heartbreak from the love that they had, right? But something is still there, which seems when a person goes through those kind of setbacks, it feels like life has taken a back step, life is going in a reverse order. Instead of progressing and moving forward in life, entire life energy is pulled into that setback. At times people become stagnant in their situations, in their circumstances. It could be financial circumstance or physical circumstances. They might be injured, there might be an accident, or they might be seriously physically ill, or they could be emotionally not doing very well, and it could be emotional setback from the love, from the people they love, or from the death of the loved one. Everybody goes through something or the other. So that propulsion force at that time comes to a halt. It seems as if it doesn't exist within us during those times. And that is when a person looks above. So that is why God is also called as that fire or Agni, or that propulsion force which takes you forward in life. Because many people, when they are going through these setbacks, they may or may not have any family left. They may or may not have their parents alive. So then who is going to, really take them out of this situation or life circumstances that they are in? What is there? Nobody and nothing is there. Everybody is so busy living their own life and dealing with their own setbacks. So that is why God is termed as propulsion force, fire or Agni, because when you look towards Him, that is when you again have that spark. May not be immediately, depends upon what you are putting as a fuel to propel yourself forward. You see how fire propagates? It goes on burning really fast. Whatever goes into there just burns and acts as a fuel, and it starts moving here and there. We have seen a lot of bushfires in Australia. How did they spread to something like, 8.5 million hectare of land? How did they spread that much? So many trees, entire forest the fire has eaten. So many animals lost their lives. People lost their lives. People lost their homes. So, what moves, what keeps the fire burning is what you put into it as a fuel. So when you look towards God and think of Him as the propulsion force which is going to move you forward, then the fuel at that time is devotion. Devotion is what you should be putting in. And success really depends upon the level of surrender that you have, and not the surrender to God. God doesn't need our surrender. Not the surrender to any guru or any other human being on this planet. Surrender to your own commitment to move forward in life. Surrender to the very life process that you are. Surrender to the life force that is there in you. Surrender to that is what is going to propel you. And who is going to help? God. So being the fire, Agni, the first, although God's name, we call Him Om, we refer to Him by Om, but the first Veda was Rig Veda, and the first mantra and the first word of the first mantra of Rig Veda starts with the word Agni. That which is going to move forward, pull forward, the life force, the very energy, the life process that we have towards into the direction, into the way that is helpful, that is beneficial for we as human beings. So being fire is, or Agni is another dimension. It's not the physical fire, it's a whole dimension to understand that God, this is one of God's characteristic. It is one of God's quality through which He pulls all the beings that are there in His creation. He pulls forward, He moves their life forward in lot of ways, because you will not find friends doing that for you, you may not find family members doing that for you, and you may or may not have your parents to do that for you. Then who is there? God. So to understand His quality as being the propulsion force, as being fire, is very important. At times in life, you might be that fire for your children. You might be that fire for your loved ones around you, for your friends in your life. You might be that fire. All of us carry that fire to an extent. But the more you start becoming, the more you get into the surrender to the very life process that you are, the more you are in tune with that super propulsion force, that super fire that God is. So understanding this God's this quality is very much important for not just the spiritual seekers, but also for all the people, those who want to live a healthy, happy, peaceful and physically healthy life. Okay. Namaste. Jai Shiva.